Hello, it's Fran Davidson from psychicandenergywork.com.au. Welcome to my monthly observations for September 2024. This is the first time I've produced the observations in a video format, and I have no idea how it's going to go. So first of all, can you let me know how it comes across, whether it's better than the written or vice versa? And also, please forgive me because very much I do this on my own. It's probably going to be a bit sort of home quality, but nonetheless, hopefully I'm going to be sharing a few snippets with you that help you understand last month as well as work through this month, however it presents to you. Before I continue too much further, I will apologise for my lisp. I had a front tooth pulled last week, so I'm sort of down a bit of dental kit. And as a result, there's a fair amount of lisp going on. So please forgive me if you either catch a glimpse of the gap or if my S's just don't come through as perhaps you'd like them to. So before we start on September, let's quickly have a look at August, because that's what I always do. I always have a look at the month that's just been, just in case that helps you wrap up what you've just been through. Certainly for many people it seemed not just August. August was a challenging month. There was a lot going on astrologically. Pam Gregory is an amazing woman, UK-based. If you haven't heard of her already, Google her. She's got a wonderful YouTube channel where she keeps us all up to date with what's going on in a very spiritual way. Just an amazing woman, really explains it very, very well. Obviously, there are others like Jessica Adam, Jonathan Kainer, and you've no doubt got your own supply as well. But numerologically, it's been a doozy. And hello, I've been saying that for a while this year. In looking at September and August and preparing for this, one of the things that really struck me this month was the fact that since I think it was since May this year, we have had a 7 count each month of 3 or more. And you might remember if you tune into what I do every so often, I will every so often say that, when the 7 count is 3 or more, and here I'm just talking about the collective chart, so I'm not even looking at your chart yet. So to the degree that you've got 7s in your numerological date of birth, your birth name, or your reality number, which is the sum of those things, then that's going to aggravate the 7 count even more. All numbers are good numbers. As well as dynamics that can teach us and help us evolve through egoic wavelengths as well, challenging times, etc., etc. But 7 is very interesting because 7 is the pendulum swing between mind, what the mind can create, and that can be really good stuff, can't it? But what the mind can create versus what the universe knows. So 7 is knowledge, 7 is opinion, 7 is wisdom. But 7 is also a period that says, what level of wisdom are you tuning into? What level of wisdom are you channeling? And therefore, what level of wisdom are you projecting and therefore creating, manifesting, attracting? 7, therefore, can be a time that teaches us or encourages us to get out of our heads. It can be a time that can be very head heavy, mind heavy. A lot of inner chatter, can't turn the mind off, can't not get negative or fearful or tense or pessimistic. And if we look what's been going out in the world for this last year at least, there's a whole lot of reasons why any of us could end up in those places on a regular basis, let alone economically. So 7 is a time, irrespective of whether you know these things, like numbers are amazing. And I suppose, astrology is like that too. It doesn't matter how much you know about the art, you still learn through it and about it all of the time. Life always shows you more than you know. And that is a 7 lesson, because 7 says, all right, well, you might be a real guru or whatever you do, and it may not even be about spiritual stuff. Yeah. But 7 is the place where life comes knocking on the door and says, whatever you know, brilliant, But can I just show you what I know in a way that could really help you, perhaps even make you wiser than you are right now, and therefore more adept at working through, working with, and therefore co-creating the good that you know is possible in this moment or the next. So 7 is amazing, but because, of course, again, we've had a high 7 count since May this year, as in 3 or more each month, right? Just collectively, not yours as well. Yeah. So what that means again is that people can get headier. Yeah, and August, and the reason why I'm talking about this is that August brought 4 sevens, right? So, okay, so that's not a whole lot more than 3 sevens, but again, that can see an exponential increase in the head energies. And it might be head energy, it might be yours, it might be other people. And even that's interesting because on an energetic level, what we tend to affirm and feel and need to process, often it's not just our own. We can never deny that we play a part, but especially if we're in areas that are more built up than not, we can all of a sudden be experiencing vibes or dynamics and channeling them in a way that, well, they're not necessarily starting with us. We're contributing to them. We're helping to amplify or hold them in place and therefore channel them. Yeah. But it's always a case when we're talking energy of releasing not just our own, but everyone's, not just mine, but all. Yeah. And even if we can't, or even if we don't know where something is coming from in a way that, hello, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel pleasant, but whatever the label, whether it's fear, whether it's anger, whether it's angst, whatever. Yeah. Whenever we do that, it is release all pessimism, including my own. Because we're never quite sure, like any form of spiritual healing, just because something presents at the elbow loudest doesn't necessarily mean that that's the root, doesn't mean that's the source, doesn't mean that's where the actual problem lies. Anyway, coming back to August. August was interesting too because it had 2 master numbers, right? In fact, on one level, you could say it had 3 master numbers. Every August brings us 25/7 as a reality number. So in numerology, we get 3 main numbers. We get the birth number, we get the MO, and we get the reality number. The birth number tells us what we're just about to learn about, experience more of, witness, grow through, come to embrace, come to channel to the next degree, ideally on a spiritual level. Yeah. The MO tells us how we're going to do that. In other words, what are the triggers? How are we going to be triggered to do that? And then the sum of those 2 dynamics is called the reality number, which talks about the end results, the end states that we're likely to end up in or attract as a result of working with the other dynamics, either spiritually or egoically, usually a mix of both because we're wonderfully human beings. So let's come back to August. Right? The reality number every August is 25/7. Yeah. The specific MO in August was 120, and because it's got a 0, it's master number. In other words, there's more of a dose of spiritual, invisible, intuitive, and energetic. And yes, all right, not everybody notices those things, but for those who do, life can therefore become a little bit more a little bit more unknown, intangible in flavour, as in, hello, I've got stuff going on around me, but I can't quite place it, I can't quite label it, and maybe it is just energetic rather than more tangible, real world, solid stuff. And yet I've still got to deal with it. Life's asking me to deal with it. The reality number for this August, was also 2152, which added through 10 on its way to 1. So 1 can make us feel more alone, more, hello, it's down to me. I'm more getting the result or getting the breakthrough that I need. I'm more on my own. One is a very interesting dynamic because often it can be a time that the human being experiences as more alone, less guided, it seems. One, if we flip that, one can be a time that feels almost as if the universe is saying, you know what, yeah, I'm here, but I'm just going to back right off away from you and see how you fare. Yeah. And at times that can be quite cruel, especially if we're waiting for things or we're relying on breakthroughs or just universal help, please, in a way that we often can do. So August was due to press, for the 7 perspective, from the 3 perspective, which is realizing, being able to go with the flow, not get stuck in that. And also from the 1, because 1 is self-development. 1 is, hello, let's squeeze you a little bit more to get the next drop of adult out, and let's get rid of the next level of child, the next layer of ego, so as to actually come into alignment well, spiritually, divinely, not just intuitively and energetically.